Okay, in this tutorial, let's learn about how to customize the properties of these labels of the axis. Okay, when I see these two axes, I feel that the font size is not big enough. So to change that, I will simply use sticks and set font size to say 18. Okay, so that this is for X ticks. I can do the same thing for the Y ticks, and if you execute this command, you will see that you have bigger fonts for the labels of the axis. You can also change the font weight. I'll set it to bold just to demonstrate that you can change it. So you can see that the font weight changed to bold. And sometimes we want to have these stick labels at customized positions, not at the default positions given by Matplotlib. So how to change that? So to change that, you have to use have to add some properties here. I'll use y-axis for example. So let's say we want to have tick labels from -1 to +1 with increments of 0.5. Okay, so the first argument should be the position, the location of the labels, and the second argument should be the labels themselves. So in this case, we have to have the same values for the labels and also for the positions of the labels. So if I execute this command, I will see that my tick marks are from -1 to +1 with the increments of 0.5. Okay, and we can also add minor ticks. Sometimes you want to have minor tick marks in between the major tick marks. To add that property, you have to use this axis class. Say x-axis set minor locator, and use the Matplotlib multiple locator. Let's say I want to set minor tick marks at the interval of 0.1. Okay, I'll have to change this to y for the x-axis minor ticks. Oops, think I made a mistake. Okay, it should be minor. Okay, but you can see that those tick marks are pretty small. You can change those values using Matplotlib tick parameters method. And let's say axis. It asks you whether you want to change the tick parameters of the x-axis. So y-axis in this case, y-axis in which axis, like which type of axis, it's in the minor. And let's set the length to 8 and width, which allows us to change thickness of these tick marks to 2. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see that there's no distinction between your major and minor tick marks. That's because these minor ticks are on top of these major ticks. So to change that, you have to set the sizes of these major ticks to a much bigger value. So I'll do it here, and I'll change this to major, and I'll set this to 10, and let's just probably to 2.5. And when you do that, you can see that little distinction. Okay, let's reduce it to 6. Okay, that's much better, right? So likewise, you can do the same thing for your x-axis. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it here. And I'll change this to x, and I want my let's set this to, okay, let's try to execute this command, and let's see what happens. So there you can see that nothing has happened. That's because we have not changed, have not added a similar argument, similar method to the x-axis here. Let's change x-axis, set minor locator, and let's change it to 0.2, the distance between two minor tick marks. Okay, now when you execute this, you will see that change. Okay, if you want to change these values of both the axes, what you can do is you can simply change this to both. And also change this to both, so that to get the same effect, right? The same parameters in both the axes. But if you want to change, customize x and y axis in different ways, you'll have to have one command for y-axis and another two commands for the x-axis, like that. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for this tutorial. I will see you in another Matplotlib tutorial. Thank you.